Welcome back to another video with Welding. And this video is pretty much going to be an uncut video of me first using my xTool laser welder on a live project. And it was on a large tabletop that I was building that is 10 foot by 40 inches. Because of the bed length of the laser and the press brake, I had to weld the end flanges on because they couldn't fold it all in one piece. And big shout out to Laser Bros. They folded this for me, and their attention to detail in this project was awesome. They had to send back a couple different sheets because I didn't want to provide a tabletop that had scratches and dents and dings in it. So the whole surface had to be pretty pristine. And big shout out to them for going through all the extra steps to making sure that piece of metal was near perfect. Being that I had to weld the flanges on each side, I actually TIG welded one side and laser welded the other side, just to kind of get a comparison of time and how much heat is being put in the part, because you don't want to put too much heat in a huge sheet metal thing like this because it'll start to oil can and bow. And this tabletop I actually did a little bit differently than ones I did in the past. I normally put a couple layers of MDF plywood and then secure it with some very strong adhesives on the inside, and that just adds more rigidity to the table. But this customer wanted to keep this tabletop very light, so I actually made a steel frame on the inside and tack welded it all in there and kind of encased it with sheet metal. I clamped a 1/2-inch aluminum flat stock bar and C-channel on top of that to work as a heat sink. So as I was welding it, that aluminum's drawing the heat out of the part, and it's not going further into the sheet metal where it can have a chance to bow or do any kind of oil canning. So I'm running the xTool 1200 watt laser welder, and the settings I have for it is just the default settings for 14 gauge carbon steel with 04 carbon wire. I wanted to use the laser welder a little bit more on this project, like for welding the plates and panels from underneath the tabletop, but I noticed that the laser will burn the sheet metal or whatever is beyond the weld. So if I were to use a laser welder on the underside of this tabletop, you would have seen some burn through on the show side of the sheet metal. So when you're using a laser welder, you have to remember what's past, what you're welding past and what's behind it. It's kind of like when you're shooting a pew-pew. If you're shooting in a self-defense situation, if you're in a house, you have to remember what's beyond the wall behind the target, because you could potentially hurt somebody behind the wall. Same thing with laser welder. You have to remember what's beyond the laser because it will melt or catch something on fire. So safety is a huge thing with these laser welders. After welding with this thing for a few minutes, I kind of started to understand how the weld was depositing and where to keep the heat on the laser. Having that heat sink clamped so close to the joint that I was welding also helped me keep the weld and the laser on the seam, because I'm not really used to controlling this thing. It's definitely just such a weird welding method. It's not like MIG welding, it's not like TIG welding, and you're just in a different position than what you're normally used to when you're doing any other welding process. If you're looking to purchase an xTool laser welder or any xTool machine, go to their website and use my special discount code HAMWELD, or use the link in any one of my bios on my social media channels, and you'll get yourself an extra discount while supporting the channel. So I follow these guys on Instagram and social media. One is Bear Welding and one is Fine Iron. Now Fine Iron came out with a new barrel system and lead that actually matches the length of the fiber cable on the laser welder. For some reason xTool didn't make the leads the same length. Imagine if your TIG welding cord came with a shorter water inlet hoses than the power cable. It would be kind of stupid. This is the same instant with a laser welder. And what Fine Iron did is they actually custom made a barrel and gas diffuser that increases your life of your laser lenses. At the time of this video, I believe they're almost done with those, and they're going to be shipping them out to the people that pre-ordered them. I'm one of them. Looking forward to getting that. My personal take on this whole new laser welding situation, I think it's great. I think it has its place in the welding field. Obviously, you're not going to be able to use it for everything, every project, but it's just like having a welder and a MIG welder. You know, you're not everything you're going to TIG weld, not everything you're going to MIG weld, but the laser welding, I feel, has a great place to fit in right in between all that stuff. And it's super quick, super efficient, very precise. And I'm really looking forward to using it more in my projects when I can. And not everything I do, this is not going to be the first thing I grab every time. I do a lot of custom one-off projects, some production stuff. I just get into a wide variety of metal fabricated products and out of different kinds of metals for residential projects, commercial projects, art projects, you name it. It's pretty impressive. I was able to weld this whole 40-inch seam, and this video was about 8 minutes, and I did clip a couple things out just when I was changing the camera angle and I was picking up the phone and moving the camera around. I just cut that out, but for the most part this is raw dog, unedited. You can kind of see everything that I was going through, the few struggles that I have. Getting that laser back aligned with the wire, how you're supposed to have it right at the tip is where you see that red dot before you start welding. This is the final weld across the whole seam. I'll try to go through it nice and slow so you can see it all. Filled everything pretty good. I will line it up corner to corner, so when I go to sand everything all off, everything should look good. Holes to fill with the TIG welder, but this is all it, sanded up. Everything blended very well. There was no very noticeable holes on the edge that I couldn't blend out. Overall, I'm still impressed with this welder. I'll be using it a lot more. Thank you so much for watching, and please like and subscribe.